And then number 56, was anyone exempt from the original sin?
Oh, yes. Two human beings. Christ, of course, since he is God and man, it's superfluous to say he had no original sin because he is God and man, the same person, God and man. The Blessed Virgin Mary was exempt from original sin and all its consequences because God willed it so. In view of the merits of Christ, in view of the assignment God was to give her to be the mother of the Son of God who would take on human nature, God preserved her totally from original sin so that she was never under the power of the devil, the father of lies, never for one moment. She therefore was always pleasing to God, full of grace. Yes. And then she grew in that life. And because she had no original sin, she had no weakness towards evil, no inclination to evil. None of these miseries we go through. And she had no personal sin either. It's just beyond us to imagine her greatness. Even initial greatness that made the angel say, full of grace.
Full of God's presence.
Full of God's, pleasing God. Yes. Full of the life of God.
Mm-hmm. Now, so often, like we said, baptism is the most important sacrament, but not the highest sacrament, because the sacrament of the Eucharist is that. So we can say the title of the Immaculate Conception is Mary's most important title, because without that, none of the other gifts would have flowed. She wouldn't have been the Mother of God. Mother of God is the highest of all her titles, being the Mother of God, but this is the beginning privilege that Mary received, wasn't it, the Immaculate Conception?
It is safer to say it is the beginning, because that is when she began.
Right.
But her greatest
is Mother of God.
Oh, yes, Mother of God. When you have said that, you have said everything. You don't need to say anything else about her. Mother of God, full stop.
Right. That's right.
Because it's simply extraordinary that her Son is also her God. Mm-hmm. Because that person you see there is man and God, is the second person of the Blessed Trinity who took on our nature. That's that person who could say, the Father and I are one. And who could also say, the Father is greater than I. The same person in two natures. Yeah. And Mary is the mother of that person. Extraordinary. Never happened before and never will happen again.
Yes. But the Immaculate Conception, I think the devil hates that title so much because it's reminding him that he's never had control over Mary for one instant, and she's been predestined to crush his head.
The devil knows that the Blessed Virgin Mary is the one God has raised to be the mother of the Savior, to crush his head. Yeah. Obviously, the devil can't be happy about it at all, to put it mildly.
That's right. Now, the next question, number 50.
Because she is like a personified victory over the devil. That's right. God's masterpiece. As one of the saints said, our tainted nature's solitary boast.
And all these symbols you see of Mary, crushing the serpent, and these aren't just symbols of an artist, they're symbols given to us from heaven and from Scripture. And the miraculous medal is another example of a symbol given to us from heaven, of Mary stepping on the serpent's head.
It is from the Scripture, the very first book of Genesis. Mm-hmm. And it is also clear from the Gospels. And it is on Calvary. We know who is on the cross, Christ. And we know who stood at the foot of the cross, his Mother Mary. She was not standing there just like John and Mary Magdalene. No, in another capacity. That was her Son. She was sacrificing her Son. He redeemed us, Christ. But Mary was his associate.
Yes. Just like Eve couldn't have committed the original sin, Mary couldn't have redeemed us. Adam, original sin, and Jesus, the second Adam, redeemed us. Mary, but one thing about Eve, she wasn't born with any weaknesses, so she had to, when she fell, when she sinned, the temptations that hit her didn't affect her the same way they affected us, because she didn't have the concupiscence. Eve didn't, did she?
She did not. It shows the seriousness of the sin of Eve and Adam, because without our weakness of intelligence, without our inclination to evil, they still went to the depth of revolting against God, suspecting God, refusing to trust God, wanting to be like him. In short, challenging him. Rather serious.